What's up everybody, this is Mastery and Gamer, and today I'm going to run through everything we know about the 2017 Summer Games event, and make my predictions about what exactly we'll be seeing in terms of skins and other items, as well as my thoughts on things like the return of last year's cosmetic items, and the new competitive mode for Lucioball. This is going to be a fairly long video, so if you're interested in hearing about only one thing in particular, then check the description below for timestamps for each topic. Just to start off, in case any of you haven't heard yet, the 2017 Summer Games event will start on August 8th and run until August 28th. This is fairly late in the summer, but I understand why they had to do this, what with Doomfist's release and everything. So now let's move on to the meat of this video. First up, we have what I'm personally the most excited for, and that's the new event items. According to Jeff Kaplan in the Overwatch developer update video released last night, Roadhog will be getting nothing special for this event. Jesus, talk about sticking another nail in Roadhog's XXL sized coffin. It's a terrible time to be a hog main, I guess. Anyways, moving on to a more positive announcement, Junkrat will be getting a sports-themed legendary skin. I already said it in my previous predictions video, but I'm now 100% convinced that he's going to be getting a tennis outfit, just like his spray. On top of that, it'll be complete with a tennis ball frag launcher based on the design of a real-world ball shooter. Furthermore, Mercy will be getting a new skin as well, most likely a legendary by the way Jeff worded it. Now, while we know for sure Junkrat's skin will be sports-themed, we do not yet know if this theme will apply to all the new items. I think most likely it will, so we can expect that Mercy's skin will likely relate to badminton, as indicated by her spray from last year. I know many people were excited for her to get a more beach-themed outfit, but I guess we'll just have to wait to see what exactly it is. Next up, Jeff stated that something good will be coming for both McCree and Widowmaker. Now, while he said this after talking about Junkrat's and Mercy's new skins, he doesn't specify whether the things for these other two are skins as well. I think we can assume they are, but let me just remind you that both of them, in addition to Mercy, got epic skins in last year's event. It's possible that these three, plus Junkrat, will all be legendaries, but this would seem a bit unfair to the rest of the hero cast for them to be getting a second skin for the same event already. I know it will upset many people to say this, but I don't think that McCree and Widowmaker are actually going to get new skins. If we look at their sprays from last year, neither differ visually from their normal outfits by very much, so unless Blizzard is in fact breaking away from the sports theme, I couldn't see them getting anything new that would be of legendary worthiness. That being said, I'm not sure what Jeff could have meant by saying that fans of these two heroes were going to be blown away, as I don't think most people really care at all about emotes or highlight intros, so once again, we'll just have to wait and see. Now, since we know from the data mine that there are only 40 plus new items in this event, I think it's safe to say that there will only be around 4 new legendary skins at the most. I was a little disappointed that Jeff made no mention of Reaper or any skins for him, as he, in addition to Junkrat, was who I previously expected to be most likely to get something new. Also, I expected that Soldier 76 and Hanzo might get epic skins for their sports of golf and archery, respectively. I guess we'll just have to keep our fingers crossed for these heroes until next week. Also, Jeff didn't say anything regarding new weapon-specific skins, which is an idea that has been floating around ever since their discovery in the Doomfist release video. That doesn't mean they for sure won't be a part of this event, as Blizzard obviously is saving many reveals for the event itself. So I personally still have my fingers crossed for this possibility too. Moving off of the new skins and items we'll be seeing, let's discuss the old stuff which will be returning. According to Jeff, everything from last year will be available again this year, except that now you can actually buy them with credits. But even better, they will all be at a discounted price of what normal non-event items cost. So those precious legendary skins that you missed out on last year will now only cost you 1,000 credits instead of the normal 3,000 event price. This discounted price aspect actually caught me really off guard when Jeff announced it. I expected that they would all still be full event prices, but their decision not to do this seems pretty reasonable. I suppose this is their solution to the inevitable problems you would run into years from now, when it's your first time playing Overwatch during what is then the 6th Summer Games event, and there are more full-price event legendary items than you could ever hope to get. It also raises new opportunities for collectors like me, who try to get everything for every hero. If items return at a discounted price after their first year available, then perhaps it would be smart to wait on buying anything you don't get out of loot boxes their first year until they are cheaper the next. Sure, waiting a year isn't fun, but it would be the cheapest way to do it. However, that's also assuming that every event will have past items available during it. While this seems likely for some events, others, such as Year of the Rooster or Uprising, might not work in this way. I guess that's just another thing where we'll have to wait to see how it plays out. Additionally, the return of past items to this year's Summer Games event brings to mind the question of whether we really want to be able to get old items again. I personally think it's good that we have the chance to get them again, but I could see how some people would want the really rare item they got to remain rare, instead of becoming less and less rare as time went on, and people had more and more opportunities to get it. Just a thought, and one that I'm sure will come up again, and probably is deserving of its own video at some point in the future. Moving on to the final major topic, which I'm sure is many people's favorites, we have the return of Lucioball. Now, personally, I wasn't that big a fan of Lucioball during last year's Summer Games event. Maybe I'm out of touch with the kids these days, but I kinda thought the huge hype for its return was mostly just a meme. So while I wasn't surprised to find out it was indeed returning, I was when Jeff announced that it'll be having its own version of competitive mode, complete with placement matches and different ranks. However, after thinking about it for a while, I realized that this is actually an ingenious technique on Blizzard's part. A lot of people are genuinely excited for the return of Lucioball, and thus will be overjoyed to have a more serious mode to play it in. But additionally, this is the perfect opportunity for Blizzard to test out having different kinds of competitive Overwatch. People have been asking for a while now to have competitive modes for things like limited 6v6 arcade mode, and given the 3-week limit of the Summer Games event, this will be the perfect testing grounds for them to try something like this. I personally don't think that having multiple competitive modes would be a good idea year-round, as it would detract from the original competitive, and also split the player base, thus creating longer queue times and resulting in matchmaking teams that are even more poorly compiled than they already are now. However, I am still excited to see how competitive Lucioball plays out, and it'll certainly be an interesting trial of a new kind of Overwatch gameplay. Furthermore, Jeff acknowledged that there are some tweaks made to this year's version of Lucioball, such as no longer being able to boop enemy players, and reworking what Lucio's ultimate does. Also, there will be a second map for the game mode, this time set in Sydney, Australia, as we saw in the initial event teaser on Twitter. I think this addition, as well as the mechanical changes, are good in that they'll make the game mode at the very least feel new and fresh, as opposed to just the same thing we had last year, which is very important. As the last thing I'm going to talk about in this video before wrapping up, don't forget that this will be the first event with the new loot box system in place. That means we'll all be getting fewer duplicate items during the event, and hopefully more new event items. I'm personally interested in seeing whether or not this means that, for someone who plays the game as much as I do, I might actually be able to get everything from the event simply by opening boxes. Especially since there will be fewer new items this year, it certainly seems like a reasonable possibility. But nevertheless, I still plan to do a mass loot box opening video on the day of the event starting, as I know a lot of people really like to watch those, and I think they're fun to do. So be sure to look forward to that, along with many more Summer Games related videos on my channel soon to come. And with that, thank you all for watching, and please be sure to comment below and vote in today's poll card to share what you're personally most excited for in this upcoming event. I also wanted to mention that while I try to respond to every comment I get on my videos, I've gotten quite a lot across my recent few. So if you commented on one of those and I didn't respond, especially if you were asking me a question of some kind, I do apologize, and I will try to follow up with any future comments you leave on my videos. Otherwise, be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and click that bell icon to keep up with all my future content. This is Mastering Gamer signing off, and until next time, I'll see you in Sydney for the Summer Games.